running our own business has been the best thing that ever happened in my career. But as a woman in still a male-dominated industry, I feel like I can compete with anybody. And to me, this has been a good reminder that, we still have a long way to go. Sometimes I forget now that I've been in it for so long. But we try to really mentor younger women who either are lawyers or want to be lawyers, and we encourage all of them. They all have different strengths. They all have different goals. I don't care what your goal or strength is. I encourage you, pursue it. When I was a young lawyer, I thought I had to know everything. I was afraid to say I don't know something. I was afraid to show someone a draft for fear that they would think less of me. And that was a mistake. I collaborate on everything now. I drive everyone crazy. I walk around and I say, what about this argument? What about that argument? Here, read this for me. Collaboration is hugely important. So I'm still struggling with what is justice, because I think that we all see through our own experience what is fair in a particular case or for a particular person. And I think nowadays people talk about justice and politics in these broad strokes. But for me, in my practice, it's really about what's fair for this particular client and how can I best pursue that for the client. I do get involved in cases that are particularly meaningful to me. We had a case where we represented the University women's swim team, and we sued the university for Title IX violations and for sexual harassment. That I got involved in. That was important to me to rectify.
Cheryl is the best listener. Cheryl has patience. She gives everybody the time that they need. Cheryl's been there. I've had some rough times in my life, things that are, very deep, and she's always been there for me. Early on in our practice, when we started practicing, my husband became very sick. And, it didn't look good for a long time. Cheryl hates hospitals, and I always knew she did. But who was there when I needed her? She was there. She was there for me the whole time.
I hear some people, bemoaning the politics and the violence these days and the efforts to blame one group or another for our problems. But I tell people, we've always faced that challenge in one form or another in our country, and we've always gotten through it. And lawyers, through the rule of law, we impact what our country is going to be more than anybody else. We affect how people live. We affect people's rights. We affect the limitations on government. We can solve these problems, and people turn to us to solve them.